Welcome back to XGen Investor. I'm your host, Jake James Vogel. Clive Thompson, in a recent interview with Bloor Street Capital, mentioned a few mid-tier gold producers, and that sent me digging. I'll put a link to that interview in the description below. What I found were two companies that are quietly crushing it: Perseus Mining and Ramelius Resources. Both are generating serious cash flow right now, both are debt-free, and both are positioning themselves for years of growth. I liked what I saw so much that I bought shares. So again, this is not going to be investment advice. Do your own research. I am biased. So Perseus Mining, they're quietly building an empire. Perseus just wrapped up a standout year. They produced about 500,000 ounces of gold across 3 operating mines in West Africa, with all-in sustaining costs around $1,235 per ounce. With their gold sales averaging roughly $2,540 per ounce, that's a $1,300 per ounce margin. Excellent performance for a mid-tier. They generated about $650 million in free cash flow and ended the year with $827 million in cash and bullion and 0 debt. Now, they're putting that capital to work, building a new major project in Tanzania that's fully funded from their existing balance sheet. When it comes online around 2027, it should add another 200,000 ounces of annual production. For the year ahead, they're guiding 400 to 440,000 ounces at slightly higher costs, mainly because royalties rise with gold prices. The lower production volume and higher costs will be offset, at least partially, by higher gold prices. Today, the gold price is above $3,900. 3 operating mines, a new flagship on the way, and a fortress balance sheet. Perseus looks like a serious compounder. Next, Ramelius Resources, the cash machine down under. Ramelius is based in Australia, and they've just delivered their 5th straight year of record performance. They produced roughly 300,000 ounces across 2 core operations at an all-in sustaining cost of about $1,020 per ounce. At current gold prices, that's around 70% operating margin. They pulled in around $460 million in free cash flow, finished the year with about $530 million in cash and gold, and again, no debt. Their big move was merging with Spartan Resources, instantly boosting total resources to around 12 million ounces and reserves to 2.4 million. That positions them to grow into a 500,000 ounce per year producer by the end of the decade. They're also spending heavily on exploration, roughly $60 million this year, to keep feeding that growth pipeline. Most of my mining investments are in the Americas: Canada, the US, Mexico, Colombia. That's where I typically focus because of political stability, established mining codes, and strong legal frameworks. But I've been actively looking for undervalued companies with exposure to Australia and Africa, regions that still have incredible untapped geology and operating margins that can outperform if managed well. Of course, there's geopolitical risk, especially in parts of West Africa, and I don't take that lightly. But companies like Perseus and Ramelius are well managed, diversified across multiple operations, and financially strong enough to handle disruptions. That balance of high-grade opportunity with disciplined execution is exactly what I want in this part of the cycle. So here's my takeaway. Both companies are printing cash at current gold prices. Both are debt-free with hundreds of millions in the bank. Both are self-funding their next phase of growth without shareholder dilution. In a sector still trading below its historical valuation multiples, these two stand out as low-risk ways to get high-torque exposure to gold and to new jurisdictions that I want in my portfolio. Again, this isn't financial advice. You should do your own research. if you need to speak to a financial advisor, a licensed financial advisor, again, if you deem it necessary, talk to somebody to give you advice. But we live in the age of information, and there's information at your fingertips. You can, use AI to get information as a baseline. Obviously, the LLM AIs hallucinate, so that can be a problem, but it can get you started. You could always go to the company's websites and read their financial statements and their news releases. And, again, I see opportunity in these two companies. If you do as well, join me as a shareholder. But don't take my advice. I'm obviously biased now. And, you should do your own research always. Take care.